There it is. Kentucky. Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Who do we got? That's a lot of respect from the committee in my eyes to get a 3.
Yeah. I don't love Illinois in round 2, but you got to play someone.
Troy,
Troy.
bang.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
go. Do you think the Aggies are playing in Lexington in the same bracket? That'd be pretty cool. Or on this little same page here. Please. Let's
Ooh.
go. I'll rip the shirt off.
Me off.
Dude. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
Oh,
Aggies
that's a fucking dream
Lexington
scenario. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
in Tennessee right there. It's the Catechin. It's the best day of year. Happy Selection Sunday to my brothers and sisters in Christ. Before we get started, we have the Catechin Bracket Challenge. Link in the description.
Just do it!
Winner gets anything they want from the Catechin store. And if they want to be a guest on the show, we'd be happy to have them. And if you don't want to be, you don't have to be. Because as Braden said, I think before we started recording, he thinks that some of our fans are aggressively ugly. Fellas, we got a 3 seed, and we like our draw. How are we feeling?
I never said anything like that about any. I've said a lot of things about Big Blue Nation. That's not one of them, you know.
Stop the cap.
But great draw. I literally don't think it could have been better. Me personally, Aggies playing in Rupp, Kentucky playing Troy. A lot of respect to get a 3 with the record Kentucky has. I mean, honestly, it shows what they think of the SEC. But I think it's a great great chance at having our best show ever for the Sweet 16. I'll say that.
Yeah, SEC 14 teams in, pretty crazy. I think
Highest
record
ever.
by 3. Yeah, I like the draw. Need to start looking into some of these teams that I haven't watched more than just a game or two this season. But you get looking at it, and it's like, oh man, that's going to be tough. And then you realize, yeah, but no matter what, you're playing a high seed at that point. It's going to be tough, regardless.
Yeah, and even for like the first, and of course, no slight to Braden, but if it breaks how it should, and Kentucky would play Tennessee, it's like that's already a team we played twice. And if we've learned anything in the past couple of days, if a team beats you twice, there's probably a good chance they could beat you a third time because there's a reason they beat you those first 2
I
times.
swear to God, I've said that my whole life, and that is the hill I will die on fastest. I think I argued this point yesterday to somebody. If a team beats you twice, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Not if you beat them twice already. You're probably going to beat them again.
I think someone pulled the numbers on
that.
Someone pulled the numbers on that, and it's like a 75%.
Yeah.
The winner of the first 2 wins the third 75% of the time.
But it feels so good when you lose that one to be like, well, what are the odds? You beat them 3 times.
Right.
I get the appeal of it.
Yeah.
But it's just such a cope and just ass. It's just not true at all. Like, yeah, a team beats. I mean, it probably stems from something in like what in the NBA, like game 3 is like the gentleman's sweep. Like they win game 3 and then they lose the next 2. Like they, or they, whatever the case may be. But Troy though, I'm sure you guys know everything there is to know about Troy. But no quad 1 wins. Really only 3 quad 1 and 2 games combined all year. Just given the conference they play in, I mean they're a top 100 team, but you can't lose this game. You can't. Jack Golke, he have any eligibility left? And make sure he's not.
Who?
Jack Golke. I don't want to make sure he's nowhere near that Troy roster. Maybe he got I don't know. A lot
Never
of dudes
heard
play
of him.
professional. Never heard of it either. You know what? He did lose to the Aggies this summer over in Croatia, I think so. But yeah, no, I don't think that Troy's got any sort of guy like that. But I think this should be a runaway for Kentucky.
Famous
They
last
have,
words, but I agree.
They have Tatum Conaway, who I think was like player of the year in the Sun Belt. He's pretty good, but he's not really a shooter. He's like a sub 30% 3-point shooter. So that's helpful at least. Real quickly, it looks like they're a really good offensive rebounding team, but they also turn the ball over a ton, which will be
Fun.
interesting given our inability to force turnovers.
Inability to force
also-
them in the SEC is one thing. I think you'll
Sure.
turn this team over like crazy. This I don't know, man. I think this is a pretty bad team. As far as like 14 seeds go, this to me looks like looking at their resume, like what's their average Their average wins in 242 in the net. I mean, that's
Let's see.
solid.
Arkansas beat them early before Arkansas kind of turned things around
Uh,
65-49.
yeah,
I see
yeah.
we're using the phrase "turn things around" loosely, but yeah,
They
Sure.
made the tournament at least, I guess. I don't know. That seems.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
another, this is kind of comforting unless it doesn't play out this way at all, but they're the 339th ranked team in terms of 3-point percentage. So that'll be
The
nice.
trash.
Maybe they don't hit everything against us. That would be
Does that just give
appreciated.
you a sick feeling in your stomach they're going to though? Because I swear,
You know, I mean,
some
sometimes, yeah, it's
if this were us last year, then yeah, absolutely. Or the past couple of Calipari teams, it's like yeah, of course they're gonna be on fire from three against us.
yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, this is a who's their best win? They have. I mean, yeah, oof.
yeah. Best win may be Arkansas State,
On
I
the
think,
road by one. Yeah,
and Arkansas State is pretty good.
they beat
I think
Memphis. I
that
think
I think the Sun
earlier in
Belt's
the
pretty
year.
top heavy. I mean, I think this
No,
year,
it's mid as far. They have two teams that are top
well,
100. That's it.
right, and it's Arkansas State and Troy, and then after that, there's a pretty steep drop off. South
Oh,
Alabama too,
even from there, yeah, that makes sense.
but yeah, after that, the rest of the teams kind of, or the rest of the conferences is asked. So
Yeah, but they got three teams with single digit wins. That's rough. Okay.
yeah,
We also get the I don't want to look past the Troy Trojans, but we are trying to have an interesting show here. I do see some early chatter online about some Illinois worry, but got to play somebody.
It's the
And
tournament, man.
yeah,
Everybody's good. Like even the bad
right.
teams are still pretty good. You know, there's no way
I'm trying to
Illinois.
look at
Like
the
that's
other
a
six
great second
here.
round matchup. I think that this it couldn't have set up better out of all the top eight. Seeds. You'd have to fit. Tennessee's one you've beaten twice, even when shorthanded. Like I don't. No, again, I hope you don't even see Tennessee. I hope you have a nice run to the Sweet 16, and then I bid you adieu, and we head into a Utah State only Catechin episode for the Elite Eight. But um,
The other six seeds are Ole Miss, Missouri, and BYU. So yeah, give me Illinois because I'm not
Yeah,
trying to play all
sure.
them.
And likewise, Tennessee probably is my preference if I'm picking between Alabama, Michigan State, St. John's, and Tennessee.
I'd have taken Michigan
And
State, but
yeah, that's true. I'd pick Michigan State, but
either or.
I just
and
don't
I
want
got
to
the
hear
one seed
people.
that I pick.
I just don't want to hear people talk about Izzo in March, and so avoiding Michigan State keeps that discourse far
It-
away from us.
yeah, is it Rothstein that always tweets out Izzo instead of March, and it makes me want to poke my eyes out every time.
January,
It's like,
It's
dog,
February.
like the calendar,
yeah, like I
like January,
understand he makes the tournament.
February, Izzo, April, May. Yeah,
I I get it. He makes a tournament every year, but also he's won once the whole thing. I know it's not a ring conversation, but like, bruh, if you're gonna name March after the man, you got to have more than one 25 years ago.
Hasn't he
sure.
lost to Middle Tennessee State more recently than made a Final Four? I could be
100%
way
that's
off on
accurate.
that.
They got beat by 15 seeded Middle Tennessee State. Yeah, got the doors beat off him too. Like an 11-point win, I think. 15.
That was a fun game. So
So
Illinois, I do say Illinois. They like the three ball, and I think Brad Underwood's a good coach. And I say for that game, pick the over because they're going to get up and down the court. And we got Big Z's brother on that one, but we may not even play them. We may play Xavier or Texas. One of these play-in teams generally go on a run.
It's interesting you play Texas in the second round. I think Texas should beat the brakes off Xavier. I don't think Xavier's good at all. At least not from what I mean. They're good. They're a good team. They're not like a bad team, but I don't think they beat Texas. I don't think. I don't know. Texas has some star power for sure.
Yeah, I think with just the tournament of Texas having, and I'm forgetting the guys. Is it Trey Johnson?
Yeah, I think so.
I think in
right.
any given moment or any game, he could be the best player on the court, and that's not really something that I'd like to play.
No.
So give me Illinois.
Yeah, and
So
I think Illinois has. I was going to say they sort of had been sliding, but I guess their three February losses were against Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Duke, so that's fair.
Squad losses.
they allowed Iowa to score a ton on them, and Iowa is, I mean, they're a top 20 offense,
I
but
was
They also Utah State.
okay.
then just absolutely put up a stinker against Maryland in the conference tournament. Scored
Would our
65, lost
friendships
by 20
survive?
something.
Oh, well, no, you know what? Never mind. We'll talk about that another day. Let's get
Would
past
our
these.
friendship survive Utah State beating Kentucky in the Sweet 16?
It would never. It's never going to happen. We're not even going to get there. But I just wonder how that. Like, would we be different after? Like, would things be different? You know, is that a line that, like, when it's crossed, would it
I
be
want it
different?
for the podcast's sake because the
It
content
would
out of that
be.
would be great.
It would. So here's ideally how it would go, right? Like Kentucky and Utah State both making Kentucky wins. The show goes on, right? Because if Utah State wins, I don't know that you want to see that side of me. In that regard, I might have some things to say, but no, there's no way. Dude. There's the way we're playing. We're lucky we're in the tournament right now.
Once again, the different tune after we hit the record button, because before we hit the record, you're saying the fans are aggressively ugly, and then before we hit record, you're saying if Utah State beats Kentucky, I'm going to go on solo show and I'm going to, and I quote, jork my it on the show. Is the words that you
I
use.
will pull Padge live on air if we beat Kentucky in the Sweet 16. I did say that, and if I didn't, I should have. The rest of it, no. But I might say it if we win a game against Kentucky in the Sweet 16. I don't know, man. I don't know how I'd react. Can't drink
I
no,
would
because I'm gonna say all this. Now we're gonna lose to UCLA by 25. So like, I'm not serious.
Mick
I'm just curious what it
Cronin,
would be like.
Mick Cronin, and I know they did make the Final Four. But Mick Cronin feels like the opposite of January, February Izzo, because Mick Cronin loves losing to mid majors in the first and second rounds of the tournament.
I'd love that.
Yeah, let's see.
I think that would be. It's the best draw possible. I was really excited about it. The fact that it's in Rupp though, that's sick though. I'm hyped on that more than anything. Like once that happened, I didn't really care what else was there. A lot of good. I can't believe North Carolina get in. Don't even really want to talk about it because
It sucks.
how you gonna have one quad one win and have? I get that for like mid majors don't get a ton of opportunities, but they had like 13. You could have won a couple of them, like maybe two. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like mess
They
around
almost
in a
beat
third.
Duke, man. They almost beat Duke without super flag.
And Malik
What more do you
Brown.
have to prove? Yeah.
Handle, but if it wasn't for that pesky lane violation, darn it.
On sort of the top half of our bracket, there's a lot of teams that I wanted to avoid. Like I didn't want either McNeese or High Point to end up being our 14 seed, and they're both in ours. Uh, Clemson, I don't really want to play again. Gonzaga, I don't want to play again. Houston's obviously very good. Purdue's very good, but it's comforting knowing that only one of those teams is going to advance to the point that we'd get
You
to
would
play
play
them.
them.
And by that time, I mean Elite Eight, like that's house money, anyways. So
And again, Houston is. I think Houston's great. Their record is awesome. I just pulled it up the other day, and they have 4 losses, 3 of them overtime, all to good teams. But
That's why San Diego State's in the tournament, and that's why they're going to bitch slap North Carolina. San Diego State's win over Houston carried the day for the Mountain West today. That's why we got 4 teams, because that's the only reason I think that they made that bracket.
that
I
said,
will
I
say
think
this.
I'd also prefer Houston over Florida, who's just on a tear right now. Auburn, we know how that one went, and Duke, who I think has improved quite a bit since we played them.
Yep. And this is a Kentucky Homer show. This is a Kentucky show. So Houston, this is my spin. It plays in the Big 12, and that Big 12 sucks. And you guys know me. You know I've always said this. Great teams like iron must be forged, and we've been forged in the flames of the SEC.
I like
true.
it. Where does it become? How you said house money a second ago. At what point are you playing with house money with this Kentucky team in y'all's perspective? Like from your opinion, like you win the first round, you gotta win. You gotta beat Troy because we gotta.
Got it.
Jack
You
Goldke
got it.
erasure is in full effect. We need to taste that a lot less. So you get round two. Do you have to beat Illinois or play in game winner to be satisfied with the season, or are you okay?
I think to a big extent for me that depends on the injuries. I mean, as we know, we're in not a great spot. Apparently, also our PG4, I guess, Travis Perry has an injury to his hand. Someone just said Pope said Noah's sick. Uh, Carr seemed to re-aggravate his back the other day. It does sound like we'll get Lamont Butler back, but
Yeah, surprisingly, I was way wrong on that. I got told that
yeah, yeah.
it's
Hey,
career ending. Like, no, it's for real.
but so some people say like injuries aren't an excuse where Kentucky, whatever. That's ridiculous. That's just like so
That's
when
what dumb people use the excuse of we're Kentucky when they don't have any other good argument. That's what they say. And because
I
I get where they're coming from or what they're trying to do, but it's nonsense. Okay, it really is nonsense. It doesn't. It's go on. Continue your point. That's one of my least favorite things that this fan
uh
base does.
let me see if I can find this. Um I shared what our lineup could be during the portion of the game when Owe was out and Carr had 3 fouls. Let me see if I can
Mm.
find it. And it's not great. Harry, Brea Chandler, Noah, Carr with 3 fouls, Almanor, and then Amari and BG, neither of whom were playing particularly well. And it's like that's who you're going up against 1 seed Alabama with. And if you can't see that and understand that it's going to be really, really difficult, I just don't know what to tell you. If you need to be able, I mean, yeah, losing like that sucks. It did not feel good. That's an awful way to lose.
Yeah.
But also, you need to tailor your expectations to what you're able to play with at that point.
Yeah. No, for sure. Anyone taking that, if anyone's still taking like, okay, SEC tournament recap, great shot by OA. Glad I didn't lose to Oklahoma. But so that
Yep.
game against Alabama, what do you want? Well, I know you don't want to. It did feel like a little bit of a give up there, and I feel like
Oh
Pope
yeah.
wasn't super happy. But at times it can look like a give up when you're just getting every shot's going down. You can't get a stop. You just sometimes it happens to you, and it just rolls like that. And I feel
We weren't
like
even getting calls. It's like, what are you
yeah,
supposed
and
to do?
it just feels like there's nothing you can do right. Don't flush it. You got to learn from it. You can only flush so many times, right? But like, I think that they're gonna make a Sweet 16. I think they beat. I like them in even as like you get Lamont Butler back at the Sweet 16. I think is where
I
I
think
would
so.
say is, and then you're playing against like a team that you've beaten twice or a Utah State, UCLA, or Wofford. There's your choices if we really want to get technical with it. That's who you could one of those three teams, and you've beaten the best of those three teams twice already, and the other two you'd be heavily favored against. So like I really
It's nice of you to put Wofford in there.
I said, well, if you the way you talk about Utah
Anything
State, it
can
might as well be
happen.
Wofford. Eh,
Cinderella run.
15 teams, 15. My favorite upset of all time was Florida Gulf Coast over Georgetown, 15-2. I mean, that was you never
They're about
know.
to hit me with the St. Peters, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy that at all. Like, I don't. I've always been like Kentucky fan adjacent. Like my best friend growing up was a Kentucky fan. I don't. I revel in it a little bit to like mess with him, but like other than that, no. Did they chant UAB on the bus? Maybe once. I don't know. But
That
other than
hurts
that,
me emotionally to hear.
I know we talked about it before, and I have a time. I said sorry.
Shout
Won't
out to
do.
the big red dog.
Yeah, Big JC, Joseph Clifford. Get him on the show sometime. He watches.
Join the challenge, Joe. Come on the show.
He
Get a
will,
shirt.
and then he'll lose.
Back
By the
on track
way,
here.
side not well, I'm about to get further off track. I will take back
Oh, let's
every
go.
bad thing I've ever said about Ryan Odom if he does what he needs to do this week. Okay, VCU, come on, please give me one more. Just Max
BYU.
Shulga.
BCU,
Yeah,
BYU.
absolutely. Yeah, Ryan Odom and Max Shulga. You left me too soon. Do me one more solid before you leave college basketball, please. I need it. Is there anything that would be better for just everyone's vibes if BYU went down as a 6 seed again? I don't. It,
Rick
yeah.
Pitino getting John Calipari out of the tournament in the second round.
He will put Calipari and Arkansas in a pretzel, dude. Like this is such
Oh,
a distinct matchup of or like disadvantage in teams. Like I know Calipari owned him for years, but like
Yeah.
you see Patino's face when they announced the matchup. He looked pretty happy.
yeah.
Oh,
He looked pretty stoked. Oh man, if you're
if the
making jokes
tournament,
about, oh god,
if the tournament, because the Thursday noon game where we kick it all off, if they don't start it off with Kansas, Arkansas, the 7-10, like what are we even doing?
it's either going to be that or it's going to be the two West Coast teams playing in Lexington at 9 a.m. where no one's going to be there, or noon there, I guess, but like 9 a.m. over here. It'll be UCLA
Maybe
and
they
Utah
do like
State.
no, because none of the 8-9s really get the juices flowing because they usually do like a 8-9, 7-10. It's usually 8, 9. Louisville, Creighton, UConn, Oklahoma, Gonzaga,
Does
Georgia.
UC San Diego have the biggest, like, obvious upset pick of the world pressure on them? Where they're
Yeah,
like,
that's going to be a popular one.
it's it has to be the most popular. But I feel like they're legit. I watched them beat Utah State, so I'm biased at home. That doesn't happen in the non-con for a team from like that's crazy. First year eligible too, because there's that weird transition rule the NCAA has.
All right.
Well, they're like the favorite Cinderella pick going up against the team that most people are thinking will lose in the first round. That's like so much going against Michigan. I'm picking Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, I was gonna say that they're gonna make an example out of them. I think that Michigan's gonna go out there and bully them probably just because it has. Utah State won 30 games twice in a season, and we were the trendy upset pick, and we just got waxed both of those years in the tournament. It wasn't even really competitive, so I've grown sour on mid majors with 30 wins.
I think the 5-12 is Colorado State over Memphis.
Colorado
Yeah,
State,
I
I
think
think,
that's a
is
good
going
one
to
too.
bust that ass. Nate Clifford's the best player in the Mountain West. I don't care if Donovan Dent. Sorry, bud, you're not Nate Clifford. But that dude is the truth. Like, he is so good. He is so far and away the best player in the Mountain West. He's going to be. He has like star power written all over him, like a Sweet 16 type run. He is so good. He is such a
And
good basketball player.
I love Oregon for the Sweet 16.
Ken Pom just has Colorado State as an outright favorite over Memphis.
As they should be. Memphis, what are they writing? One UConn win that turned out to be kind of dog. It's going to be like not very good. Jared editing, you're welcome.
Yeah,
But
they
who else did they beat? They lost to Arkansas State. I know that. I know they beat Dayton, I
they
think.
they beat Missouri, they beat Michigan State, they beat
But
Clemson, they beat Ole Miss. So they have some decent
okay,
wins.
they beat Ole Miss is a win I'll respect. Okay, they beat Ole Miss is big. Mizzou, it depends on where it was played at. Memphis does have high end talent, but they can never seem to put it together like at the
Yeah.
level they should. I feel like they have a lot of coaching mistakes.
Well, and
it feels like you're saying
they
that Penny Hardaway's a bad coach.
I think that he has surrounded himself with much better assistants this year than he had in the past, and he technically fired all of his assistants like 10 days before the season. So maybe I'm onto something, but I don't know. They always end up in that weird like seed line. They got a 5 this year though, which is nice.
in the American tournament too, Memphis kind of struggled with Wichita State and Tulane, both of which should have been pretty easy for them. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they tend to do that
they
though.
won.
Their conference they play down a lot of the time. I want them in the Pac-12. I think they're the next ad. I really do. Because that conference they're in right now is dog shit.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I feel like a lot of people are going to pick Drake, but Drake's playing Missouri.
I think
That
Drake
feels
loses by 20 or by 20 points. I don't think that's close at all.
That's a tough draw. Yeah. And also Grand Canyon going against Maryland is a tough draw for.
They're gonna get shell shocked. I think a lot of people pick that. I like New Mexico to beat Marquette though. Is there any other? Okay, does Creighton beat Louisville? That's the other one I wanted to ask you guys about. My boy Stephen Ashworth is going to do us a solid.
Louisville is an 8
Legends.
seed.
Very deserving 8 seed. I really thought they were right in there. That makes a lot of sense to me because they didn't beat Duke, did they? Did they beat Duke?
No.
I didn't think they did. Did they beat Kentucky? No, they didn't beat Kentucky. They probably beat. Who they beat? They beat somebody. They probably beat somebody. They beat Clemson. They probably beat Clemson, right? That's the one there.
They didn't beat Tennessee.
Didn't beat Tennessee.
Or
20 point loss. I
Oklahoma
knew
or
that
Mississippi or
one. They
Kentucky
beat
or
Clemson
any
by
of the ACC
3
teams they played.
and Clemson by 10. So they're really. Oh, hey, they beat tournament team North Carolina though. That's a big one. That's a big one. And I said they didn't lose a game for a long time. I'm telling you, I swear, I'm going to work on that project where the AP poll is like the most useless but most powerful thing in momentum in college basketball because it's useless, but it's like, oh, how many top 15 wins did we have? How many, to put it on us a little bit too. It is a little subjective because like a lot of those teams aren't ranked anymore, right? But yeah, I don't think Louisville's not beaten anybody. They beat Indiana, who was ranked 14th. Indiana's not a top 25 team, but the momentum of that carried, right? Like, and then the North Carolina.
Indiana's not a tournament team.
Indiana should have been a tournament team over North Carolina. And that's saying something because Indiana's not a tournament team at all.
Extend Woody.
He might be leaving too soon.
I'm interested in all of the 8-9 games except for the Louisville one. Just because I don't like Louisville and Creighton as a concept bores me.
Oh, I like Stephen Ashworth. That's the only reason it's because he was an Aggie for like 3 years before he went there. So I do love
like it's my favorite thing every year where you take a major team that is kind of disappointed the whole year, and they always Like they just never quite put it together, but always just enough to tempt you that they could beat the 1 seed. So you get like a Baylor and a Duke possibility in the second round, or a UConn Florida in the second round, or a Gonzaga Houston. And I feel
UConn
like
Florida
those teams
feels possible.
always lose round 1, so you never even get
Yeah.
that game.
Gonzaga as an
Hey.
8 seed is crazy.
They're
The
8th in the
5
net, aren't they?
Well, I don't know what they're on the net. They're 9th on KenPom. The teams immediately behind them on KenPom are 3 seed Iowa State, 2 seed St. John's, 4 seed Maryland, 3 seed Wisconsin, 4 seed Arizona.
I'd be
And they're an
furious if I
8
had
seed.
Gonzaga.
That is, and like I get it. They've lost some games that they should. I mean, like resume wise, I get it, but predictive metrics love them, and that's a tough draw.
For
As an
Houston,
8
but I
seed.
feel like Gonzaga just would like lose to Georgia, and we don't even have to
Yeah,
worry
well,
about
and possible.
Yeah, they're weird. Yeah, I don't know. They're
it's a Mark Few versus Mark Fox matchup. That's their namesake.
Lots of
Or is it
marks.
Mike White? I'm dumb. Sorry, Mark
Mike
Fox is on our team.
he is, but he did coach Nevada for a while.
You know
And
what?
Georgia.
I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to own my L. I'm an idiot.
I get stuff edited all the time because it's inappropriate, but not because it's dumb. So we keep the truth in here, just not things we can't say.
I do think with talking about Kentucky in the tournament, if Kentucky loses to Troy, people are going to be pissed. Rightfully so.
Yeah, yes.
But if we lose to Illinois, I think people will be like bummed out. But I think with the context of the injuries, I don't think I would be. I think I'd understand it, but I'd probably still be pretty bummed out.
It'd still
If
suck
we-
to watch.
If we lose to Illinois, I'm already tired of the we should have got Will Riley narrative.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But
I'm not ready for portal season, boys. I need the tournament to be like at least. I need us to go second weekend. Somebody. to go
have you
second
heard that
weekend.
Kentucky has already got a commitment from a mystery stud in the transfer portal?
Have you heard that about Utah State? Because that's also true. And and conflicting sources say it's the same guy. So that guy is me. That's the source. I'm telling everyone the same thing from both sides.
Are
of my
you the
mouth.
stud in the transfer portal, bro?
No, but I'm telling you about it, and I'm telling Aggie fans about it, and I'm lying to both of you because he's not going to either school.
This is
can't
MJ saying this.
I can't wait for this to be like every other time MJ says something like this. Like last year there was a late guy who hadn't entered the portal yet, but he was going to, and he was a lock, and he was great, and then he never even hinted at. I think he maybe said conference. He said, "Oh, it's an ACC guy," but it's like, yeah, that could be anyone, and they didn't end up entering the portal. But I feel like so often he does this. He teases like, "Oh yeah, no, there's a guy."
Bro loves to titillate us, and I don't blame him. I
It
love being
does.
titillated.
You know how
It
long it
does
took me to figure out who
drive
you were talking about right
engagement.
there? Oh, Matt Jones.
Oh, you
Okay.
weren't no good in the initials through you.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was not. That's yep, perfect.
We were talking Spider-Man for a little bit.
Legitimately, I'm glad you said that because I thought you were going to bring up Michael. No, I was thinking Spider-Man, redhead, and yeah, I was like, who the fuck is MJ? All right. And why do we care what they think?
Draw.
He is
And
sweet.
love the draw.
On that note,
love the possibility of playing Utah State. Love Utah State playing in Rupp.
that is
For
so cool
pure
for me.
Catechin vibes.
100% that. I saw
It
that.
had
I
nothing to
lost
do
my
with it.
motherfucking mind.
Feels like, but we spoke into existence. So
I'm specifically not saying this was made up for clicks, but there's a KS board post yesterday at 9:40 about the post-game show stud from the portal, 152 comments, 8,000 views. So it does kind of bring in I mean, people are interested in that kind of news.
is it Obi? Is that
I
the
don't know.
Wyoming kid?
Yeah,
Is Obi the
Obi
one?
Agdam. Yeah,
Obi Toppin?
I don't know.
No, we're bringing back Obi
Well,
Toppin.
and it's also funny because people are like, "Oh, I hope it's that Eagle Staff kid," and the next post is, "I hope it's anyone but that Eagle Staff kid."
I
And it's
saw
like, well,
that.
we just don't have consensus at all.
That
People
Eagle
have
Staff
soured on
kid is
Eagle Staff.
he's an
When
Alabama
that's-
commit, bro. Come on now.
It was a few months
when
ago.
that's
We
the
were all ready
reaction-
to get him.
When that's the reaction, it means you're going to disagree about whether this guy's a stud anyway. In the end,
Yeah.
and it's subjective. Like stud could be Braden Smith, or stud could be someone whose name I haven't heard and you just liked on tape.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. So
I legitimately like hate that wait from waking up to when the selection show comes on. I do appreciate they just get right to it and they learn from their mistakes of the year they did it in alphabetical order. It is the best show and the best day.
Alphabetical order is crazy.
The fact that that was greenlit from anybody's perspective, like the whole sport should have been canceled. That they said that was okay that day. I I still don't understand how that got approved, but
And
what's worse, the alphabetical or like 7 or the year where they changed the one shining moment from Luther Vandross to Jennifer Hudson?
for
yeah,
sure
that's
the
tough too.
alphabetical reveal for sure the alphabetical reveal that was an
Oh
all
wow.
time dog
Well,
shit
so
moment for me.
the other problem with the alphabetical reveal is the way they do it here, where they just do it by quadrant, is really. I mean, it's quick, and you don't immediately know you didn't get picked. I remember as a kid on snow days or potential snow days, waking up and watching the counties that were canceled scroll across
Yeah,
the bottom of the screen. And every single kid knew what county came behind you alphabetically because when you saw their name and you hadn't seen yours, you knew I got to go get in the shower. I'm going to school today. And that's exactly how it would be if you're going alphabetically.
yeah. No, I don't think I had a dog in the fight that year, but I remember being like, "Well, this sucks. What the hell is this?" All
You see
right.
Kennesaw State, you see Kent State, and you're thinking, "Damn." Not
Ooh.
that we would have been left out, but just brutal.
Well, fellas, any closing thoughts? Hey, what's your tournament Thursday, Friday setup look like? You know, what's y'all's plans?
Watch a ton of basketball. Like just post
Yeah.
up in front of the TV. Probably go live. We should. I think a watch
Yeah.
along would be cool. We tested out streaming the screen today. I know Ben's been, or he's. I think Ben knows how to share a screen. I don't know that he's been sharing all the games for the last week or anything, but could probably figure it out. Have people watch along with us.
I'm gonna order a bunch of wings on Thursday and then order a bunch of pizza on Friday. Just have the time of my life.
My God,
Sounds good.
yeah, that does sound really good.
So
Oh,
if you guys want to come hang out, just let me know.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll book a flight. No big deal.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Catechin. Please join the bracket challenge. That'll be a lot of fun. Also, where's Caleb? Your guess is as good as ours. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
Maybe
Caleb.
Caleb is trying to miss out on the foot bet
That
because
he
Kale,
loves footbet. That's the only thing he's not doing back for. I feel
Kale,
like.
Kale speculation is welcome.
yeah. So
Reach
Caleb lost
out.
the foot bet.
Hmm.
So tune into to our post game episode from the tournament where Caleb will be showing his feet.
They will
And
be
that's it.
painted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Thank you for joining
Cats.
the Catechin. For Ben, for Braden, I'm Jared. Go Cats.
Go
Cats.
Cats.
Where's Caleb?